I'm back in my stone workshop. This is where my projects made from natural stone are born, where every journey begins, from raw rock to an interior object. Around me are stone blanks, dust, diamond discs, stone cutting tools, and that calm, familiar sound of work. Among dozens of pieces of natural stone, one catches my eye. I don't choose the stone chooses me. I don't yet know what it will become: a decorative object, a piece of home decor, or a functional item. But the shape already suggests a direction. It feels like the material itself is guiding the process. And suddenly, the idea becomes clear. A napkin holder made of natural stone. A simple object? Maybe. But it's simple forms that reveal the true beauty of stone, its texture, layers, and character. The work begins with a sketch. I define proportions, balance, negative space, and mass. Where the top will be, where the base sits, where the empty space lives, every detail matters. The first line on the surface, the first conscious step. Many people think stone carving is all about the tools, but tools for working with stone are just an extension of the hand. Everything starts in the mind, with an idea, with an inner understanding of form. Working with natural stone isn't about strength, it's about control, precision, and respect for the material. One wrong cut, and the stone doesn't forgive. There's no undo button here. I make the first cut, shaping the base of the napkin holder. This stone is layered nice, fragile, temperamental, yet incredibly beautiful. Materials like this demand patience and full attention. Cutting stone isn't just noise, sparks, and dust. It's a conversation with the material. Every project is a journey, from a raw piece of stone to an object that becomes part of someone's interior, someone's home, someone's everyday life. If you're watching this video, leave a comment and tell me where you're watching from. I love seeing how far the story of natural stone travels. This channel is watched in the United States, Germany, France, Poland, and many other countries. And every time, I wonder, how far will a stone that's millions of years old travel today? Stay until the end. In the final part, I'll share a finishing technique that brings stone to life. While cutting, I feel the resistance of the disc. Every millimeter sounds different. I don't force it. Listening, I listen. Push too hard and the stone will crack. Too gentle and nothing happens. It's a constant search for balance, just like in life. Now comes the most important stage. I cut the central opening, the space where the napkins will rest. This is the heart of the piece, its purpose and its meaning. I switch to a thinner disc. This part demands absolute precision and control. Nice doesn't tolerate rushing. Each layer feels like a separate chapter of an ancient story. I move slowly, line by line. This isn't just a hole in stone. It's the element that sets the rhythm of the entire form. Too narrow, and the piece loses its function. Too wide, and the elegance disappears. I imagine this stone napkin holder standing on a table, under soft light, during dinner. That image guides every decision I make. Dust settles on my hands. The stone begins to respond. In this moment, the idea turns into reality. It feels like we're making an agreement. Next, I pick up the Dremel. It's a small tool, but at this stage it becomes essential. This is where the sharp edges disappear, edges that only moments ago were part of raw stone. I move along every line, every corner, releasing the tension from the form. The stone begins to change. It feels softer to the touch, calmer, more welcoming to the hands. What was once a rough blank starts becoming an object meant for everyday use. I work slowly, without sudden movements. Here, it's not about force. It's about feeling the material. After that, I create a small recess. Subtle, almost invisible at first glance, a place for toothpicks. It's a small detail, but details are what make an object truly functional. They don't demand attention, yet without them, something feels unfinished. Then I take the drill and a diamond core bit. This step doesn't allow rushing. I begin drilling slowly, letting the tool follow its own rhythm. I don't push. I listen to the sound, feel the resistance, watch the movement. The diamond bit enters the stone gradually, millimeter by millimeter. Dust settles on the surface, on my hands, in the air. The stone tests my patience. Rush it, and it may crack. Hold back too much, and the process stops. It's about balance. That quiet moment where you're no longer fighting the material, but working with it. Slowly, the opening takes shape. Clean, precise, intentional. At this point, I know the piece is nearly complete. The form is set, the function is clear, the character has revealed itself. It's no longer just a piece of stone. It's an object with purpose, with presence, with a story. Soon, it will find its place on a table, in someone's home, in the rhythm of everyday life. Now comes polishing, the quietest part of the process. For me, polishing isn't just a technical step, it's meditation. The noise fades into the background. Time slows down. All that's left is the stone, the movement, and the rhythm. I start with the bottom of the napkin holder, the part no one sees first, but the part that touches the table, the surface, the home. I work through different diamond discs, one after another. Each grit reveals something new. With every pass, the stone begins to open up. Layers become clearer, colors deepen. The texture starts to speak. Stone has its own philosophy. It doesn't rush. It doesn't pretend. It carries millions of years inside it, and polishing is a way of listening to that time. I don't hurry. I let the discs do their work. I watch how the surface changes under my hands. At this stage, force has no place, only patience. The bottom becomes smooth, balanced, calm. Not just flat, finished. Polishing is a dialogue without words, a moment where you stop shaping the stone and start revealing what was already there. And when the surface finally reflects the light, I know the stone has opened. And now, the final stage, liquid glass. It's not just a coating, and it's not just shine. This is the moment when the stone truly comes to life. I apply it slowly, carefully, without rushing. It seeps into the pores, sinking deep into the history held inside the stone. The colors grow richer. The layers become more pronounced. The texture reveals itself, as if the stone has just emerged after rain. Liquid glass doesn't sit on the surface. It works from within. It crystallizes inside the stone, strengthening its structure, making the surface both durable and alive. This is the wet stone effect. But not for a day or a month. It lasts for years. I've seen the difference. Treated stone and untreated stone. It's like black and white versus full color. At this moment, I always pause. I watch how light moves across the surface, how veins, layers, and depth come forward. This isn't about gloss. It's about life. The stone no longer feels like a lifeless material. It breathes. It has presence. And that's when I know the work is complete. Now I'd love to hear from you. Can you see the difference between treated stone and raw stone? At what moment do you feel the stone begins to come alive? What matters more to you, function or the feeling an object gives you? Would you use a piece like this every day or keep it as an art object? How do you feel about handmade objects made in a single, unrepeatable piece? Does it matter to you that something like this can never be duplicated? Where do you think objects like this belong? In everyday life or in special moments? And one last question. If this piece were in your home, where would it live? On your kitchen table? In your living room? Or in your favorite cafe? Share your thoughts in the comments. I truly enjoy reading them. Now the napkin holder has found its place, inside an interior. It's no longer in the workshop, no longer surrounded by dust or the sound of tools. It lives its own life now, on a table, in light, in quiet everyday moments. A stone that spent millions of years in nature has become part of a home. I love watching how objects like this settle into a space. They don't demand attention, but they bring a sense of balance, calm, and warmth. If this philosophy resonates with you, please support the video with a like. Leave a comment. Tell me what you felt while watching, where you're watching from, and where you think a piece like this would belong best. Subscribe to the channel. There's much more ahead. Natural stone, handmade objects, interior pieces, slow processes, and stories shaped by time. Thank you for staying until the end. I'll see you in the next story.